Welcome to this week's edition of Mountain Outhouse. I'm your host, Jamil Curry. This is the craziest to happen running this week. This week's stories include pooping in the woods, a battle for the FKT on the Arizona Trail, and course vandalism in Andorra. America's favorite fast packer, Andrew Skirka, brings us a new video, pooping in the outdoors. For us ultra runners, toilets are in short supply in the woods, so we could all benefit from Skirka's tips.
And I'm going to start wiping by using these natural materials. Natural materials are great to use because they can do a lot of that early heavy lifting, and it's a natural part of the environment. It's not something that I'm going to need to pack out later. So again, I'm going to go through, I've got like half a dozen sticks here, and I can just keep on going. I don't need to wipe very hard. I got some rocks, I could use some leaves, maybe some pine cones, and all this can go straight into the hole.
I sure do second his use of rocks, but pine cones?
At this point, I've done all my business, so I'm going to go ahead and stand up. Wasn't that satisfying? At this point, we have our poop in the hole. We've got this pile of debris. I need to cover this all up, but before I do that, I'm going to take a stick and I'm going to stir it up like a stew.
Well, that was satisfying. Japanese runner Ikuo Amichi, who won the Mongolian Steppes 100K, recently took a wild ride after his victory, literally. His prize for winning the race was an actual camel, and he rode that thing like a cowboy on a rodeo night. He immediately named the camel Go and took a victory lap to a wildly cheering crowd. His joyride didn't last long, however, when he found out Japan has a ban on livestock imports from Mongolia to prevent foot and mouth disease. He sadly was left to part ways with his new friend Go. Much of the race traveled past herds of sheep and horses where Ikuo commented, "The air tasted really good." Okay. More awards confusion took place at the recent Portland Marathon, where third-place finisher was actually given the winner's trophy after officials were not prepared for the first two runners. There was also mix-up with half-marathon finishers who were coming across the line at the same time. Although they did sort out the placings, Matthew Palia of Bend, who crossed the finish line first, still has not received his winner's trophy. I bet he would take a camel at this point. With much of the attention of thru-hiking records on the PCT, AT, and CDT, it's nice to see this next story get some attention. The shorter but brutal 800-mile-long Arizona Trail, or AZT, is an up-and-comer in the world of long-distance hiking trails. Only a few attempts have been made on this one, with current records standing at 21 days, 14 hours, 16 minutes, held by Anonymous. We aren't sure why Anonymous, who is actually Adam Bradley, aka Crudmeister, doesn't want his name attached to this record, but it soon may not matter, as there are currently 2 people attempting an FKT on the trail. Michael Whiskey Man Versteeg left Utah October 3rd and just passed the 500-mile mark this morning on his 10th day on trail, which puts him on track for a sub-16-day FKT. Versteeg is doing what we think is the first supported run of the trail and is absolutely crushing. Viva la Mexico! Also now on trail is legendary female thru-hiker Heather Anderson, who left Utah the morning of October 10th and today is crossing through Grand Canyon on her way to Mexico. She is going unsupported style. We'll bring you more next week as these speed records progress. The ELS 2900 run in Andorra connects together the 7 highest peaks of Andorra, mostly off-trail, all in under 24 hours. 39 runners were selected to run this extremely difficult 70K race with over 6,700 meters of climb. It was made aware to the organizer mid-race that over 250 flags had been pulled on one of the remote off-trail climbs. Surely something that was not done by accident, according to run director Matt LaForte. He has summoned the help of the local police in investigating this matter. You don't mess with the race director of one of the most technical mountain races in the world. I hope you vandals are caught, dopes. The Crop Top War of 2016 rolls on, where this week things took a political twist. America's newest sweetheart, Ken Bone, launched his ultra-popular, sexy, undecided voter costume, complete with an iconic red sweater crop top, just in time for the upcoming Halloween 100. Not to mention Halloween. The question is, how many of these will we see sported around headquarters this year? Thanks, Ken. Hashtag CropTopWAR. We close out this week's stories with just some pure fun, thanks to Red Bull and Danny Boy.
Take the National Express when your life's in a mess.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. If you have crazy stories to share, tweet us at Mountain Outpost.